Canas podcast. We talk sports, Canadian sports.
Yeah, I'm not reacting. You're good.
It's
You
good,
can keep doing that.
I
It'll
love
stop
the jingle.
eventually.
No, it's not.
It'll
Gonna
stop eventually.
It's such a good jingle. It's catchy. Let us know in the comments. Is it catchy?
It is not.
Well, there's like 3 people that listen. If they all like it, then it's unanimous.
No.
If you like
That's
it,
so unfair.
no, that's too bad. If you like the jingle, put us in the comments. Okay.
Oh man.
This week we're gonna almost all hockey. We're gonna really quickly touch base. Raptors lost in the play-in. They're not anywhere near the lottery, so they can't get that insane French guy. So that's unfortunate. And the Raptors lost in the play-in. Makes sense. It is what it is. It's what we expected. And then after that, the Blue Jays off to a good week this week. They won the series against Detroit. They won the series against Tampa. They actually halted the Rays' streak. So that was nice.
So like 13 games,
Yeah,
right?
so it was 13-game win streak to start the season and tied an MLB record. The Blue Jays prevented it from being a solo record. So that was nice.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
And apart from that, that's it. We'll talk about the Jays. There's no football. Footy is not like too much. The under-21 women's team, did you see the score? They won 15-0.
Against who?
So a Caribbean team.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. But still,
Makes
15-0, it's nuts.
That's a
10
lot.
different goal scorers. 10 different goal scorers. That literally means every single position player in the starting 11 could have scored. Unless it's like, unless substitutes came in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's no subs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts.
That's crazy.
So that was pretty cool to see. And then apart from that, like the Women's World Cup happening in the summer, so nothing to talk about it much
Until
now.
the summer.
Footy.
Formula-
Wrexham, Canadian-owned Wrexham.
Oh yeah.
They're in the title race right now. They drew this weekend. They won on Monday against the second place team to give themselves a little bit of a cushion. They lost that cushion pretty much now. They're 1 point up with a game in hand. So
that's still pretty good.
Something,
yeah,
but
it's still something.
They need to win. They need to win one more game, and if Notts County if Notts County loses next week and Wrexham wins, it's clinched promotion for the first time in decades.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, hockey.
Yeah, I was gonna say Formula 1 is next week, so
Yeah.
or this coming weekend. So
Hopefully
nothing.
Lance Stroll is able to
Get some more
get up,
points. Yep.
get up on his improve on his 4th place finish.
That's gonna be tough.
Listen, if he gets a podium, you got one of your bold predictions is right.
And this is what, like the third race, I think, fourth race. So there's still a lot of races left. So
Yeah.
I still have a chance.
Yeah. So.
Because Aston Martin's car is doing really well.
Yeah.
Especially if Alonso is doing really well.
Yeah, absolutely. So nice to see. All right, hockey. So we told you last week we're going to give you our previews and what we think is going to happen in every single one, like all of our winners of each series.
Yeah.
We'll probably predict our cup winner at the end too, like coincidentally, along with that. But then after we're going to really go a little bit more in depth in the Canadian series.
Yeah.
So, do you want us? Let's save the best for last. Let's do Canadians last. The Canadian teams last, and then we can do the other ones first.
Okay.
So, like, first,
Let's start with the
Eastern
East then.
Conference.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking first place, so it was Carolina and Islanders.
Yeah.
I think Carolina's obviously the better team. I do think Islanders are going to have a pretty good chance at it. I do think they push it to either 6 or 7. I think Sorokin can win them 2 games by himself.
Yep.
I think minimum 2 Sorokin. And as long as Carolina doesn't lose it, they have the better defense core. They have the better elites talents, but I think Islanders are more
well-rounded.
up front. Yeah. But the injuries to Svechnikov and Pacioretty are detrimental to the Canes' cup contention. I don't think Carolina makes it past the second round, but I do think Carolina wins in the first round. What do you think?
I was going to say exactly the same thing. 6 or 7 for Carolina. And yeah, I was going to say Sorokin is probably going to steal 1 or 2 games because he's actually really, really good. But I think with the elite like offense compared to the Islanders, I think it'll be too much for New York and they'll unfortunately lose.
Did you see Bo Horvat's comments?
I did, yeah.
Like, Well, the
Was
atmosphere here, it's better than Vancouver, that's for sure.
what do you think it was like a dig to the management?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I do. How could it not
'Cause
have been a
I don't
dig?
think he'd be like roasting the fans.
No, the fans actually showed for the first time in I think my life. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you that
Yeah.
I think the Vancouver Canucks fans showed some actual class, and that I've never in my life said that. I don't think I ever will again say that in my life. But they showed some class in the way that they handled the Bruce Boudreau thing, and then the way they stuck with them and everything. They
Yeah.
showed some class. Yeah. Never again is going to come out of my
No.
mouth, though. No.
Probably not.
What do you think about the Devils Rangers?
Devils Rangers. Well, the Devils were a very big surprise this year,
Mhm.
but I think with the additions of Tarasenko and Kane, plus already having Zibanejad, Panarin, having Fox back there, and having Shesterkin
Trouba.
and Trouba and Shesterkin as their goaltender. Um, I think it'll be New York in probably five or six.
That little. I also, for the exact same reasons as you, Shesterkin will win 2 games by himself. The Devils goalie is nowhere near as good. Either of their goalies. They were a pleasant surprise, but I do think they bow out. I do think it's. I think I put in my pool. I put 7.
Seven?
I think I put Rangers in 7. So I do think the Devils are going to win their first 2, just come out of the gates flying. Rangers are going to shut it down after, win 4 or 5, and win in 7. But yeah, no, that's fair. Boston, Florida. Now, the obvious answer, Boston wins in 4. Okay, I get it, the obvious
A
answer.
sweep? You think it's a sweep?
No.
Okay.
No, I actually, that's what I'm saying. Like, most people are probably going to
Oh,
think
okay,
it's
yeah.
Sweep. I actually think Florida has a chance. And I think they have a chance if Bobrovsky of old shows up. They
That's
absolutely
asking a
have
lot,
chance.
though.
That is asking quite a bit. I'm going to go Boston in 6. I think Florida's an
okay.
exceptionally well coached team. I think Matthew Tkachuk himself will win him a couple games. I think Florida's defense is actually decent, and I think I don't know, the President's Trophy curse is a real thing. I do not think that I don't think Boston's winning the cup this year.
Who do you think is going to the finals then?
It's gonna be, we'll get to it. We'll get to
Okay.
it. We'll get
Fine.
to it. I don't think. Also, I said I don't think Boston wins the cup. I never said they're not making it to the finals.
That's true.
I think Florida presents a challenge. I think it'll be Boston in 6, more likely 5. Go.
I'm going to say this is probably the only sweep in the
You
first
think
round.
it's a sweep?
I think it's a sweep. I think Boston is just too much. Like they've been extremely dominant this whole year, and I think they're not going to stop until the cup finals. But yeah, I think it's going to be a sweep for Boston. It's going to be too much for Florida.
Fair enough. Florida's coming in pretty hot. They actually I think they tied the season series, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it'll be a good matchup. I think
it will be a good matchup, but I think it's going to be a sweep.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Okay, we're going to skip the last Eastern because we're going to group all the Canadians together. So I'll go to the West. We'll start with Dallas and Minnesota.
See, here's my issue with that series. You have the playoff-proven goaltender in Marc-Andre Fleury, who's not the starter right now in Minnesota. Between him and the other guy that are like splitting 50-50. The other guy's been playing unreal. But what was I going to say? I forgot the other guy's name. It's a Russian kid, I think. Anyways.
I'll look it up.
Ottinger single-handedly brought them to Game 7 last year against Calgary. That was an exceptional Calgary team. And that Dallas team, my opinion, is way too slow.
Oh, Philip Gustafsson. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Swedish. Philip Gustafsson's playing unreal.
Yeah,
Fleury
I see
has
that.
not been as
Holy.
good. Yeah. So I think if Fleury's in net, he's got the playoff experience, but also Gustafsson could benefit from Fleury backing him up and all that stuff. At the end of the day, Jake Ottinger is the best goalie in this series right now. But I think Dallas as a team is just too slow, and I see the way that I watch every Oilers game, so I obviously see how they play the Oilers. Um, when it Minnesota for me is just a better
Mm-hmm.
team. Dallas has the more like elite offense. This is going to be a good series. This is definitely going to seven, in my opinion. I think it will be a huge battle between the two of them. I'm gonna go. Who? I think I put Minnesota in the one pool, but I might go back now, and I might say Dallas finds a way of getting out of there in seven. Definitely seven. 100% it's going to be seven games. Whether it's Dallas or Minnesota, complete coin flip, but I'm definitely saying it's seven games. But I'll go just.
Just to
Yeah, I'll
pick
go
one
Dallas.
team.
I'll go Dallas. I'll pick with. Yeah,
Well, I think it's also going to go to 7, but I think it's going to be Minnesota.
good. I'm
Um,
glad that I picked Dallas then.
yeah. No, it's just like you said, they're just too slow, and they only have like a couple forwards. One of them being Robertson. Um, but I don't think the Jamie Benn of old and the Tyler Seguin of old are gonna
They
show
have
up.
Rupe Hintz and Joe
That's
Pavelski.
true,
Joe
but
Pavelski is a playoff monster. And you're talking
but I
about they only
think
have one or two players. Who does Minnesota have on offense apart from Kaprizov?
true, I guess. But they're more like a well-rounded like team, kind of like saying like Germany of like 2014 or 16 when they won the World Cup, where it was just everything was balanced, and then they had like a really good
Oh, we're talking about
defense and
footy. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
really good. Yeah, no, not hockey. Really good defense and goaltending. I think that's Minnesota, where everything is like good, but then like they excel in what's more important right now, which is defense and
All right.
goaltending.
I think Heiskanen's having an unreal year. I think he's the best defenseman in the. Here's the thing: they have Dallas for me has the best defenseman. Dallas for me has the best forward, and Dallas for me has the best goalie. The best in each position. Maybe more well rounded. It might be Minnesota for
Mm-hmm.
one of the positions, but like Ryan Reeves is in Minnesota, and he's a fourth line presence. Ryan Reeves wouldn't crack the roster of Dallas. We'll see. We'll see. It'll
We'll
be
see.
seven though. It'll be a good series.
Yeah. Next one is Colorado and Seattle.
I mean, it's tough to say anything but Colorado sweep, right?
I don't think it's gonna be a sweep.
Yeah, I'm going with the Colorado sweep. I think the Seattle goaltending is god awful. I don't think Seattle has much to do with offense. They don't. They have the defense, I guess, but still, Colorado's better than Seattle in every facet,
That
in
is true.
depth, and everything. So
Yeah. Well, it's not gonna be a sweep, but it's gonna be a quick one. I was gonna say Colorado in 5. I can see Seattle stealing probably just one, but
see, I was thinking that too. I was thinking like maybe they'll go with five, but tell me one person on the Seattle roster who could steal him a game. And it's usually
mm,
if you get a game stolen, it's the goaltender. Are Martin Jones and Philip Grubauer good enough, either one of them, to steal a game? That was my thought process. I'm not saying that yours is wrong by any means,
oh no, yeah,
but that's my thought process in that, right? Like, well, I don't see a single player on the Seattle roster good enough to steal him a game. So we'll see. We'll see. Okay, now we're down to the three Canadian series. Let's go back to the East and we'll finish off with the one that we know the best.
okay.
Toronto, Tampa Bay. I'm gonna let you go first because I have a lot to say about it afterwards.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's gonna be a funny one. I'm gonna have my funny answer, and I'm just gonna have my actual
Okay.
serious answer. Um, so Toronto's gonna go. I don't think they're gonna go up 3 or win 3 games, but they're gonna win at least 2 to start, and then
Mhm.
they'll just lose the rest. It might be like 2-0 or 2-1, but then they'll just lose the rest after that. But seriously, I think it's gonna be um Tampa Bay in probably like 6.
Yeah, everything about that series. So Tampa Bay is the best goalie,
Yep.
100%. There's no question. But when it comes to depth, forward depth, Toronto has it by
Yeah.
far. Not even close. And then defenseman, I think the best defenseman in the entire series is Victor Hedman. And then Sergachev is a very close second. But then I think the D-core of Toronto is deeper. So, like, Tampa has number 1 and 2, but then Toronto has, like, 3 through 7.
But I don't think Sergachev and Hedman play together, so they still have 2 pairs.
Yeah, there'll be two elite pairs.
Yeah.
Now, I cannot for the life of me ever say Toronto leaving out of the first round because they have shown over the last 6 years they can't. This is the year that they should. They're coming in playing decent hockey. Tampa Bay now, this last week, were not great. But, I mean, they also knew what their standings were. So, like, I don't know if they're trying. Now, that said, Vasilevsky is the goalie who will steal you 2 games by himself. No question. I think this gets to... I think Toronto loses in 6. I think it's Tampa in 6 as well. I kind of, for sports in Canada, I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that Toronto can get out of this. Honestly, I do. Not for their fans. Their fans are usually terrible.
No, but just for Canada.
For sports in Canada, I would love for that to happen. That said,
I don't want it to happen.
I don't know. I don't see it happening. I really don't. Oh, man. Okay, Vegas
and Winnipeg.
The season series was a sweep, I think, by Vegas. But if you look at their underlying numbers, they have the best goalie. Vegas has a pretty awful power play compared to a decent penalty kill for Winnipeg. Winnipeg's power play is god-awful as well this year. Sorry, that's actually not even that bad. I think it's like 20%, which, like, for most teams is good, but, like, when we're used to 32%.
Yeah, exactly.
But Vegas had a better penalty, better power play. Winnipeg had the better penalty kill. The goaltending matchup goes 100% to Winnipeg, no question. I'm going to go, this is the upset that I'm predicting, the biggest upset. First place in the Western Conference gets knocked out. And I think it's going to be in 6. I think Connor Hellebuck will himself steal 3 games. And I think Scheifele, Wheeler, and all of them wake up and win in the last one. I think Winnipeg's been playing playoff hockey for the last 2 weeks. They haven't been playing great.
But they've been playing
playoff hockey. Yeah. And I think, like, I'm not convinced in the Vegas goaltending. I'm not convinced in their forward depth. Or they don't have a single point per game player in their forward group. Unless Eichel got 2 points in his final game, I'm not sure. But they don't have a single point per game type player. It's just, I don't know if their issue has always been the offense. I don't think they're going to have enough offense to get past a good Hellebuck.
Yeah. Going back to when you're talking about power play, Vegas finished 18th with 20.3%, and Winnipeg finished 22nd with 19.3%, so off by 1%.
Yeah, so that's not great.
Yeah, so their power plays weren't that good. Penalty kill wise, let me see quickly. Winnipeg was in top 10 with 82.4%, and Vegas finished with 77.4%.
That's over the whole season too, right? So
yeah.
I think Winnipeg's power play was starting to heat up a little bit near the end, and I think Vegas's power play has just always been the same.
Yeah.
Actually, they were on a massive cold streak too. So
if it goes to special teams, then
yeah,
that's where the upset might come.
And here's the thing: Vegas's D-core, let's not sugarcoat it. It is unbelievably, like, in every way facet imaginable better than Winnipeg's.
Yeah,
not even close. They even have the best number 1 defenseman. But goaltending and forwards, I give the edge to Winnipeg on this one.
Yep,
I do. So
no, I agree. I think it. I don't. Did I say mine?
Yeah.
No. Did I say no?
No, what did you say?
It was the upset, but I'm gonna say Winnipeg. I'm gonna say Game 7, so Winnipeg and 7.
Winnipeg and 7. Okay.
Yeah.
What did I say? 6, right?
6, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Hellebuck wins 3 by himself.
I can see that.
Yeah. And I think this series has 2 overtime games. And I
Well,
think
they're
it's gonna
really
be
good
like-
in
I
overtime.
think it's like 1-1 overtime into overtime. This is going to be the lowest scoring series of all because, yeah, it's going to be the lowest scoring series. Okay, last, but certainly not least, I think the cup winner comes out of this one. I think if it's not Edmonton, I think LA makes it all the way to the finals and can potentially win it all. So Edmonton,
I
LA.
can see that because Colorado is gonna most definitely beat Seattle, but then it's gonna be a hard fought battle between Dallas or Minnesota. So they're just gonna get just tired by the end. So I can see at least the one of the Stanley Cup finalists coming out of this series.
Listen, yeah, and I like
because if LA makes it to the finals, and if Boston, which is like a favorite to make it to the finals, Boston will beat them.
Yeah.
But if Edmonton makes it to the finals, then I can see it being close. And Edmonton hopefully winning.
I think the only 2 teams that can beat Boston in the final would be Edmonton, or I think Colorado could actually beat Boston. Mm-hmm. I think Edmonton and Colorado are the only 2 teams that could beat.
Yeah.
But I do actually think that LA would beat Colorado.
Yep.
It's weird. It's a weird difference. Right?
Yeah.
But okay, for this series, it's a recap or a rematch of last year's first round, in which Edmonton narrowly escaped with a Game 7 win. Vegas comes in with the additions of Drew Doughty, who was missing last year.
You mean LA?
That's the word. Thank you. LA comes in with the addition of Drew Doughty, who was missing last year. Gavrikov, who was also missing last year.
Korpisalo. Arvidsson.
Arvidsson was injured last year, yep. And then Fiala. So those are 5 key additions.
Yeah.
Korpisalo he might be able to win a game or 2, I think. But I don't think he's the elite level goalie of a Shesterkin, of a Hellebuck, of a Sorokin, of a Vasilevsky. It definitely isn't there. Goaltending matchup, I do buy this thinnest. No, you know what? I'm going to say even. I say even.
No, I think the way Skinner's been playing, like especially in March and like April, he's been playing too good. I think it's out of the goaltenders, it's going to be Edmonton that's going to have the edge because Skinner's just too good.
Fair enough. Now we looked at the LA editions. We look at the Oilers editions compared to last year. So,
last year is
Ekholm,
just
Bjugstad,
Ekholm, Bjugstad, and
Janmark.
Janmark.
Yeah, Mattias Janmark. Yes.
Yeah.
Ekholm, Bjugstad, Janmark, and Desharnais.
Yeah.
Plus Skinner and Campbell, because they weren't there.
Well, they weren't there last year. Yeah.
So Skinner, so essentially, huge addition for forwards and our bottom 6, which was a massive issue for us last year.
On Costin,
yes.
Yeah.
So the 3 legit NHL forwards to fill out our bottom 6. Legit, I'd say top pairing defenseman in Ekholm, who him and Bouchard together playing
amazing,
unbelievable hockey together. You look at their like deep analytics; they're like ridiculous how good they are right now.
Yeah. And
then you got an all-star in Stuart Skinner.
Yeah, well, technically he's an all-star.
Technically he's an all-star, yeah.
And honestly, but if the all-star game was like the NFL, which was at the end of the year, instead of Thompson, it would have definitely been Skinner as the goalie for Pacific. Coming out of the Pacific.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway.
Definitely, yeah, for me, honestly, it's Edmonton should win this. I think they are the better team. They have the better forward group. I think they have the more deep defense, the best defenseman group. I think Ekholm, if you put Nurse and Doughty are the same, I think.
Yeah.
And then I think Ekholm is better than Gavrikov.
Oh, definitely.
And I think Durzi's not as good as Bouchard. I think CC's like the weakest of the top 4 defensemen in both teams. But if him and Nurse just play how they have the last
Just
few
the
weeks.
addition of Ekholm just calmed everyone down, and
Yeah.
it's just as you saw like in March and the end of the season in April, it's definitely helped improve the team tremendously.
And as long as Stuart Skinner plays how he is and he doesn't get, put up with the pressure of the playoffs, yeah, I think Edmonton wins it.
Yeah.
Um,
How many are you gonna say?
I say 5.
I'll say 5 or 6. I so wanted to say sweep, but no, LA is just too good to just lose all their games. So.
LA has the best defensive center group in the league. No question. It's not even close. Whoever tries to make an argument for another team knows nothing about the sport. It's a little excessive. But whoever tries to make an argument just doesn't face the facts of Philip Deneau and Anze Kopitar are two of the best defensive forwards while also being able to put up points.
Well, you can't say like they are the best defensive forwards on their team, yes. But you cannot say they're the only ones without saying Nuge as well.
No, but I'm saying like of their top 6 or their top 2 centers
out of like LA,
they have the best. LA has the best two-way centers just like for the top 2 in the entire league.
I guess,
you know what I'm saying? Like it would be like
technically Nuge is third line.
No, Nuge is playing our wing.
Oh, he's playing wing again? Okay.
So it's McDavid and then Draisaitl. I think Philip Deneau and Anze Kopitar are better defensively than those. I think they're better defensively than Eichel Stevenson. I think they're better defensively than Crosby Malkin. I think I genuinely think that Philip Deneau and Anze Kopitar defensively are the best 1-2 punch in the entire league.
I think the X factor for this series is just the awakening of Nuge and Hyman this year.
That, and I think the bottom 6 is going to win it. Yeah, their third line with Fiala is really solid. Like there's nothing.
That's so unfair.
Nothing to hide about. But that's I think the last 2 games were low scoring, physical games. 2-0 and 3-1. I think something along those lines. It's like not bad. I do think it's going to. I say Edmonton in 5. They should. They absolutely should win. If we lose, it's because LA played an unbelievable series. And Edmonton just didn't do enough.
Yeah.
But on paper, for the first time in a very long time, Edmonton are the favorites, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
That said, Game 1 is going to be the biggest thing. They have to come out of the gates flying, and they have to win Game 1. Game 1 is a must-win of epic proportions. There's no sugarcoating.
Definitely, yeah.
So, all right.
Do you want to... Because we're not going to go through, like, series... Do you want to give our super early Stanley Cup, I guess, final?
Yeah, I think the final is going to be...
and then we'll just change them if we have to for the next series.
The final for me is going to be Edmonton against the Rangers. Edmonton 6.
Rangers?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's going to be a good one. Edmonton 6.
I'm going to be boring and say... Edmonton and Boston. Edmonton in 6 as well. I wanted to say Carolina, but it's tough. I don't think
Carolina makes it past the Rangers. No, they're not deep enough in forward. No. Absolutely not. And there's very few teams in the NHL that can compare to Edmonton's top 6, and I think Rangers are one of them.
Yep.
And they have very physical, good offensive defensemen and very good defensive defensemen in Trouba and Fox and Trouba, whatever it is. And then they have the best goalie in the world in Shesterkin. I think that should carry him all the way there. And honestly, I think Edmonton has the tools. They're the hottest team in the entire NHL since March 1st. They're like ridiculous, like 15-2-1.
Yeah.
Points percentage of like almost 900.
Which is crazy.
They have every reason to. We have every reason to be confident, but not cocky. Nope. We're not cocky. There's a lot of hockey to play. That's the playoffs. You never know. LA is an incredible
Anything can happen.
Team.
Anything can happen.
LA's a very good team.
Yeah.
And we need to. I wouldn't say show them respect, because we don't. Like respect your opponent, but also don't give them too much respect. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that's really important for Edmonton to figure out, to not to give them too much respect, because they need to come out of the gates flying. For game one needs to be a message that they send to the rest of the NHL that they're here to play, and they're here to win. And the players are all saying the right stuff when they're talking to the media. Now, I'm just curious to see what's going on in that room. And for everything that I hear, I got some buddies who work in the Oilers. Everything that I'm hearing is that that leadership group is ready to win, and they're doing it the right way. So, we'll see.
We'll see.
For the first time in both of our lifetimes, Edmonton is a favorite to win a cup.
Yep.
Unreal. Anyways, I don't even want to think about what... I don't even want to think about what I would do if we win the cup.
Well, it's way too early for that, Victor, so...
Yep.
We'll just focus on this series, and then we'll just go from there.
I hope... do you think McDavid and Draisaitl keep up with their...
definitely.
Their point totals from last playoffs?
Definitely.
From last playoffs.
Yeah.
That was ungodly. Listen... I'm thinking my prediction was in 5. If McDavid and Draisaitl keep up the pace that they've done like throughout the regular season this year, not playoff numbers from last year,
but season
if
this year.
and if McDavid and Draisaitl carry up their numbers to how they did in the playoffs last year, and they rise to that to how they did, 100% this is a team that should win the cup. Like no question. My predictions are
especially
solely based on the regular season.
Especially because we definitely improved. Defensively and with our goaltenders too,
and offensively somehow.
And offense,
like this
offense was basically the same except for like 2 players, roughly.
The game-winning goal in the series clinching game 5 for the Oilers is going to come from our bottom 6, and I think it's going to be one of Warren Foegele or Nick Bjugstad. I think those two are going to be the series clinching goal for this series.
We'll see. We'll see.
Let's go!
Well, I think we're good for today.
Yeah, we're good for today. I'm just
getting too excited. Yeah.
Oh man, game 1's gonna be huge tomorrow. I won't be able to leave my house. I'm gonna be here on my own.
I have to go to my friend Mike's house because every time I went to his place wearing my Nuge jersey, we always seem to win. So I have to, I guess, keep doing that.
Let's go. This is going to be a big game. Big game 1.
Yep.
Prediction, what do you think the score is going to be tomorrow?
5-2.
Yeah, okay. You think high scoring. I like it. I was going to go 3-0.
Just going to go shutout?
Well, no, now that you said it, 3-1. You can't say the S word.
They're not even playing yet, so it doesn't matter.
No, 3-0.
Okay.
I think they shut it down defensively and they provide some offense.
With McDavid and Draisaitl scoring?
Yeah.
Okay.
McDavid, Draisaitl, Nuge score the 3 goals. 2 in the power play.
Okay.
1 on penalty kill.
For shorty.
Our penalty kill was net 102%.
Really?
Since March 1st or something ridiculous. We gave up 5 power play goals or 6 power play goals, but we scored 7 penalty kill, like 7 shorthanded goals.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
So, listen, they keep it up. They can't let the nerves in. Ali's going to come out firing.
Just think of it as game 83 and just keep going from there.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, before I start crying, have a good night. Toodaloo, everybody.
See you later.
I'm too excited.